into the board packets and so forth. So excellent. Robin, I'm sure you heard that. That is attributed to our good friend Robin that's helping us out with that.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, trying to do a live stream and the other techie stuff quickly.
Carmen is trying to think who's all on this committee. Member Anderson and Deb.
And Natalie.
Oh yeah, Natalie too.
And Robin, I know that we knew we were going to have a full quorum. Did we have anyone besides Member Hess that indicated that they would not be available today?
No, I could not get a hold of Natalie Clark though, but she does have it on her calendar.
We'll give another minute or so.
I was going to say we technically do have another minute. Oh, we've just switched to 3 o'clock on my computer. And Chair Bean, I do believe we need one more person to ensure a quorum.
Yeah. Cindy, I feel like I should be walking with you.
I'm getting seasick.
I know, that's the only problem, but it's actually works really well. It's easier when you're doing this than when you're trying to actually type and like pull up emails and stuff like that. That gets a little more
Well, yeah, at least put some music on.
complicated. Yeah.
I just talked to Natalie. She's trying to log on right now.
Great.
Thank you. While we're kind of filling time, our friends from Flint Hills, did you guys survive the 6 inches to 7 inches of rain earlier this week?
I was scooping water out of 2 sump pumps in our basement because the electricity was off for almost 4 hours in the area where we live. So it was lots of fun. But We're drying out. I think a lot of the downtown businesses had quite a bit of damage, so not good.
And I saw some aerial views of Commercial Street, and I've never seen rain that deep there.
Yeah. It was crazy.
And I live outside of town, and so I got as far as town and then couldn't get the rest of the way in because it was blocked. And so I worked from home on Tuesday because that was as far as I could get.
Understandable.
Chair being Natalie did join, so we do have a quorum.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining. We'll kick off our August 15th Kansas Post-Secondary Technical Education Authority program and curriculum meeting. So welcome everyone. I apologize for some background. We just completed our budget and legislative retreat at the beautiful facility of the Sunflower Foundation out here, kind of, I'll call it northwest in Topeka. So welcome everyone. Just a few items on the agenda today for consideration, and we'll get to those, but acting on some requests from Flint Hills Technical College for a Tech Cert B and an Associate of Applied Science. But before we get there, we do need to take a flashback to our May 16th, which seems like eons ago since we last met as a committee, but the approval of the May 16th committee meeting minutes.
So move.
Thanks, Ray.
Second.
Thank you. Anyone disagree with the motion in the second? If not, we'll consider the meetings from the May 16th meeting approved. All right, Ms. Sharman, we're going to segue into item A under the consideration or discussion agenda with Flint Hills request.
Excellent. Yes, Flint Hills Technical College is requesting approval of a technical certificate B and an Associate of Applied Science in Precision Agriculture Technology. They explained that while discussions regarding the development of ag programming has been ongoing for many years, development of these types of programs have always been hindered by resources, space, and prioritization of skills and curriculum. This proposal is a result of work between the college and area farmers, implement dealers, and other ag representatives. Students will be prepared to earn private and commercial pesticide application certifications, as well as a drone-specific remote pilot license. Flint Hills Tech is anticipating enrollment of 15 to 25 students the first semester and serving 50 to 75 students per cohort thereafter. As Flint Hills Tech identified the most appropriate occupation for which this program is training as precision agriculture technicians, that in turn determined that our best SIP code fit was 011102, which is agronomy and crop science. This is a program code that was moved to non-technical funding status by the TEA due to low performance effective academic year 2022. And at that time, it was not Flint Hills that was running this program. So they're proposing to move that SIP code back to technical funding. And in your packet, I have worked with Flint Hills because we knew that this was a slightly different situation. So we provided a chart that was hopefully making it a little bit easier for the committee and then by extension, the full TEA to see some of the data that's provided as a rationale. So for instance, when we look at the 10-year occupational outlook for the Kansas Department of Labor, the statewide projected increase for all occupations is 3.3%. The projected increase for this occupation is 6.4%. The typical education needed is an associate degree. There are several certifications that are part of this proposal. They have also polled their business and industry that provided letters of support to get projected hiring information. Concerning also the wage, this occupation with the average annual wage of $45,150 would have likely met that 2023 high demand threshold for wages because it was $41,870. And they have also done extensive work on their CLNA. So as a little side note, this is the first program that the committee is reviewing that's requesting reinstatement to technical funding status. So additionally, as we discuss this, any feedback that you have regarding how we've presented this information would be helpful because we'd like to make sure that it's easy to find that information. And that was the reason for the chart rather than looking through the paragraphs as you normally would. For the Kansas Department of Labor long-term occupational projections, there's the statewide change of employment of 0.6 annually with an annual median wage of $42,670. Typical education needed is the associate degree, and the annual openings equate to 47 jobs per year. When we look at Lightcast job postings for July 2023 through July 2024, we have 424 total postings, 234 which were unique that were advertised statewide for this occupation. That median advertised salary was $45,700. And when we remove all of the job postings with no education level listed, 60% of the postings indicate a high school diploma or equivalent for entry in the occupation. Flint Hills Tech also noted that the most recent comprehensive local needs assessment listed precision agriculture as a 9.3% growth occupation for Kansas. And Flint Hills Tech also held an Ag Summit in February of 22 in response to the needs of the agriculture industry in their region that they'll probably talk a little bit more about because they are all already on the call. 4 letters of industry support for the program were received. They pledged supports and commitments for the program, including observing trial, possible job placement opportunities for program graduates and internships, donations, etc. Several letters of support were also provided by local school districts in the region. Currently, this particular program code is not offered by other institutions. However, the programming is somewhat similar to 2 other SIP codes currently being offered. So the academic year 2023 KTIP data for those programs is available in your packet. Flint Hills also collaborated with Highland Community College, Cowley Community College, and Northwest Kansas Technical College on items such as curriculum and facilities for their new program. They plan to begin the new program in the fall of 2025. They're estimating $2,171,100 in additional costs to offer the program. This includes $60,000 for new full-time faculty, a little over $2 million in facility requirements, and $71,000 for equipment, tools, and instructional supplies. That funding will be provided through the College Foundation, the local budget, and grants. And Kim Doherty, the Dean of Academic Affairs, will assume responsibility for the program. This program was subject to the 10-day comment period, during which no comments were received. And I know that Flint Hills is also on the call, so we would stand for any questions.
Thank you, Charmin. Anything else that Flint Hills wants to add to what's already been talked about, or?
I think Charmin covered a lot of the topics that we've discussed as we've gone through this. One thing to note, we did have 2 businesses that were supposed to be on here with us. However, with Ag Industries this time of year, both said that they will get on if at all possible. And I've not seen them yet. So hopefully they will get on. Since we have submitted this and just conversations, I think there's a lot more coming forward that are like, oh, we didn't know you guys were doing this. There's this. And so we've had a lot more conversations with other businesses that haven't even been included in our pack or in this application.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the committee members?
Kind of a curiosity, and I'm not sure who can answer this, but so we tabled it, or we this wasn't an active zip code. Is there a reason why that? I mean, I guess we just do it when there's not a lot of need for that particular degree or whatever. But I just, it seems odd that there was nothing and now there's all of this interest, and I'm just kind of curious what the change maybe that's driving that interest now versus when we tabled it, whenever that was, if a few years ago or whenever we put that on the back burner.
I might be able to speak to that a little bit, and this is with recent conversations with the Kansas Farm Bureau, and then a couple prospective businesses looking at Kansas. The world of agriculture has certainly changed and leaned heavily into technology and the use of technology and application type stuff, whether that's herbicide, fertilizer, or even seed. Who would have thought 20 years ago the tractors that our parents were driving would now be fully automated and basically drive themselves. So the world of agriculture has changed, and it has dramatically changed within the past 5 years as far as precision agriculture and the use of technology in production ag.
That's what I kind of thought, but I just wasn't sure, so I thought I would bring it up.
And moreover, I would just add to that from the program review standpoint. We went through that review in 2019. We reviewed 3 years of data during that time. At that time, those 3 years did not demonstrate any students graduating the programs and becoming employed. And that's why then those programs, and there were several of them, and we've got them out on the website, were actually moved to a non-technical status. So interestingly enough, the work that we discussed late last spring of what would be some criteria that we might want to think about when we're looking at that possible reinstatement, that discussion was not spurred by this program. There is yet another one that we will be discussing in the future, but I was glad that we had those conversations prior when I saw this from VP Doherty. So we will also be going through that process again next year, where we do that program review. So some of that part of this question will become clear at that point.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions for the group? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve Flint Hill Technical College's technical certification B in Associate of Applied Science and Precision Agriculture, and place it on the consent agenda for our August 29th meeting.
So moved.
Thank you, Cindy.
Second.
Thank you, Ray. All in favor of approving the request, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Perfect. We'll consider that approved and place it on the consent agenda, and we'll move to item B, Sharman.
Excellent. And I do just want to clarify and make sure we are not only approving the program, but approving the return of this program to technical funding status.
Correct.
Excellent.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Flint Hills. But don't leave. But wait, there's more.
Okay.
More.
Okay.
So we have also for this program some Excel and CTE fees that are proposed. It would be a total of $175. This fee, the fees would include $25 for the private pesticide applicators certification, and then $150 for a remote pilot license, a drone, if you will. And information on comparable fees from other institutions is also provided then further in your packet for your consideration.
And if I'm not mistaken, that $25 is just the fee, the extension or the certification body, and that hasn't changed since I took it several years ago.
That is correct.
Any questions about the Excel and CTE fees? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve Precision Agriculture Excel and CTE fees.
So move.
Thank you, Ray.
Second.
Thank you, Cindy. Do you disagree, Natalie? Silence means you're okay, so we'll consider that
fine.
approved, and we'll place that on the consent agenda. Congratulations, Flint Hills.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. We appreciate your support. And I appreciate what Kim and Lisa both did. And Denise, Denise Gilligan, our IR person, in helping get all of this data together. So thank you all for your support.
Thank you.
While you're on there, and Lisa, the Board of Education just approved our plant science and industry operations pathways with edits using SIP code 01.1101. So seeing how we might be able to align would be great.
Sure. Absolutely.
All right. Crystal, are you on the call?
Yep, I'm here, Mike.
All right. Well, let's talk about welding program alignment.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. So for program alignment, I have for your review the alignment of the welding technology articulated credit with the Kansas State Department of Education, which from here on out I'll refer to as KSDE. So for the welding technology program articulated credit map presented today, it's the first attempt in aligning articulated course credit between secondary and post-secondary technical education programs across Kansas, at least on this side at KBOR. In accordance with both the state and federal statutes, a Perkins Reserve Grant was developed for statewide articulated credit to fall under Phase 5 of our program realignment process. The welding technology program was last realigned in 2021. And so with the current program alignment, competencies identified within the common courses represent opportunities for articulation with KSDE. So last fall, Perkins Reserve Grant was established to provide a $2,500 stipend each for 2 post-secondary faculty representatives to create a crosswalk of articulated credit options from KSDE pathway courses to KBOR common courses in aligned programs. So this crosswalk would later be transformed into the statewide welding technology articulation map for secondary coursework to post-secondary coursework that was located on page 17 of your packet. So preferred candidates for the grant were welding technology faculty representatives had experience with post-secondary program alignment process as well as secondary level pathway or course reviews. So grant recipients selected for this project were Jeremiah Harmon from the Hutchinson Career and Technical Education Academy through a partnership with Hutchinson Community College, and Scott Hammer, who is representing Coffeyville Community College. Our welding technology program faculty and administrators from 21 institutions and KBOR staff met virtually on March 21st, 2024 to review this articulated credit crosswalk proposal. So the crosswalk was based on comparisons of KSDE pathway course competencies to KBOR common course competencies, our Excel and CTE requirements, American Welding Society standards for certification, and pre-existing caveats that were included in current KSDE statewide articulation agreements with individual two-year colleges. The initial proposal was reviewed and then modified as recommended by the faculty committee. And then discussions once again reconvened on May 7th, 2024 to review those crosswalk updates. As a result, KSDE high school courses for agricultural welding 1 and 2 and welding processes 1 and 2 were selected for articulated credit alignment, with KBOR common courses for shielded metal arc welding and gas metal arc welding. So the proposed welding technology articulation map was issued for presidential comment from May 31st to June 14th. And at that time, no comments were received that requested any modifications to the proposed articulation map. I had asked both Mr. Harmon and Mr. Hammer to be on the call with us this afternoon. I know that Mr. Harmon, it was his first day of class teaching, and so he has welding students with him right now. I believe Mr. Hammer said he was going to hop on, but I do not see him. And it could be timing. We're, of course, moving pretty quickly along in the schedule, so they might have just not had a chance to hop on yet. But with that, I'll stand for any questions from the group.
Krista, I think it's great. I mean, this is something that'll be really helpful for the students. The only comment I had, and it's just on the completer definition from the prior articulation agreements, we did update that and we included the items that Perkins recommends for high quality pathways. And so I just emailed that to you in April for consideration.
Fantastic. When this was originally created, they were looking at 23, 24. And so I'm sure that's where the information was pulled from. So we can definitely update that in the notes on the program alignment map. Not a problem.
Thank you.
Crystal, thanks for all of your and the team's work on this. This is some heavy lifting, I know.
Definitely. Thank you.
So you don't, I'm
do.
asking because I don't know, do you need a motion to approve the alignment?
We do.
Sure.
I'll make a motion, Mike, to approve the alignment.
All right, thanks, Natalie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ray. Cindy, I see you nodding your head yes, so we'll consider that welding technology program articulation approved and placed on the consent agenda.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sharman, any additional items of business?
Not that I can think of.
All right. Well, again, I want to thank you and everyone's efforts. I really like the new agenda format. Change is difficult sometimes. I understand that, but I appreciate the flow and background that's put into it. So thank you and everyone who put their effort in that. As a reminder to everyone, our next full TEA meeting, we'll get to see everybody in person in a few weeks, is August 29th in Topeka at the Regent's office. And then our next committee meeting is Thursday, September 12th.
And Mike, I'm gonna have a conflict with that one. I'm trying to change, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to. If I can, I will, but at this point in time, I think I'm gonna have a conflict for that one.
Okay. Well, if we get into a pickle as far as a quorum, Sharman or April, we can adjust maybe a week before or something to see if we can find an alternative date. So
The week after would be better for me. September's kind of a mess.
okay.
But and I think I do have some time earlier that afternoon. So if we started earlier in the day, I could do that too on the same day.
Okay.
So it's just the week prior is a mess. So I can't do anything.
Sharman, is there any issue with bumping our committee meeting up an hour or?
No, I don't believe so at all. I mean, I think it would this should provide, a month for everyone to take a look and make sure that that'll work on everyone's calendars.
Ray or Natalie, is that a conflict if we bumped it up a little bit?
Not at all.
So like 1 o'clock then? Is that what? Let's see. Yeah.
I'm in
Or if it's just an
Roseboro.
hour, 2 o'clock is fine too. I just have a 3 o'clock. Thank you.
Yeah, now I could do 1 o'clock on the 12th.
Yeah, works for me.
Let's go ahead and schedule that and give Cindy Hoover some buffer time between this meeting and her 3 o'clock. Let's schedule for 1.
Thank you all. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. All right, any other additional items for the committee? If not, I will awkwardly pause for that, and we'll consider the committee meeting adjourned. See you guys on the 29th.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ray.
y'all.
Thanks, Cindy and Natalie.